Hello, this is Marianne from Revealing Light Tarot. How are you all? It's your Memorial Weekend, so happy Memorial Weekend. I've had quite a number of viewers' requests, including how the decision to allow Barr to declassify intelligence information, how is that going to affect the allies and the arrangements that are currently in place to share intelligence information. Now, in particular, Five Eyes, which is an agreement between the US, the UK, Australia, Canada, and New Zealand to share intelligence, particularly signals intelligence, which are communications. Now, Trump has been obviously barreling into Australia because our ambassador to the UK at that time, Alexander Downer, was one of the first people to alert the American government to George Papadopoulos' drunken talk that they had dirt on Hillary Clinton. Now, this is all part of the pushback strategy by Trump. But, I want to have a look at how his allies are currently perceiving him to start with. They're not his allies, they're America's allies. He's in Japan at the moment, and of course the first thing he did when he got in front of a microphone was to trash Japan and the balance of trade there between Japan and America, and then support Kim Jong-un's testing of missiles, of course, which is quite threatening to Japan being so close to North Korea. So straight away, he's in the host country and he's making offensive remarks. He goes to England in June, to the UK in June. God help them there. There have been massive demonstrations against Trump in England. They have had their Prime Minister resign, as we all know. The country is in a bit of chaos itself. And then the Queen, Prince Charles and Prince Harry are going to have lunch. It's a state visit, which means the Queen's got to host Trump and his wife Melania. So let's have a look at how he's perceived by America's traditional allies. Let's see what comes up. I'm using my pagan tarot deck, which again is another new one. It's actually quite interesting because it's very urbanized. It's a very modern contemporary deck. The Pagan Tarot by the Los Scarabeo group. They've got pretty good artists there. So let's see how the Pagan Tarot performs. All right, so we'll start off with how does Trump's allies perceive him? How do America's allies perceive Trump? How do America's allies perceive? Poorly, I think. Okay, so straight away we've got the Page of Wands here, which is suggesting they see him as quite immature and reactionary. That's, some of the, I guess the page is not fully formed in his plans or her plans. And so often the action can be ineffective. Now, yes, exactly. Challenged by the Strength card, Strength and Endurance. So they see this president as perhaps not going to be sticking around. They see the conflict that is currently going on in America, and they obviously Trump. Anyone else would have been charged, indicted with obstruction of justice. So they see all of that. They feel that he's not going to be there for the long haul. They feel that he's quite immature and can be reckless, and his ideas are not fully formed. Now, they see him in need of balance here. We've got the Temperance card as the foundation of the reading. They're seeing that he is out of balance. Now, we've got in the past the Two of Cups, which is the relationships, it's the allies themselves, suggesting that the relationships were strong in the past, but they've changed because we've got the Two of Wands here. There's a waiting out. It's like an enduring, having to enduring this to see what happens in America. It's waiting for results. So I haven't pulled the hope card, but if I wouldn't be surprised to see it come forward that the hope is that the action will be taken soon, because this is destabilizing the world. The Ace of Pentacles. They're hoping. What are they waiting for? They're waiting for new starts, okay? They're waiting for new starts. The Ace of Pentacles are the new starts they're waiting for. And look, it is actually around the economy that the countries are worried about. They're worried about the US economy tanking. They're worried about the flow-on effects to them. They're worried about destabilization of the world trade order. They're worried about the institutions being upended. They see Trump as being very immature and reckless with his policy. They don't see that it's founded on strength and deliberation and good advice. They see it as unbalanced, and they are. What are they waiting for? They're waiting for new starts here. Now we've got the King of Cups here. In the current situation, what is the current situation? The King of Cups. This is support. So I guess what you're seeing is allies making deals with each other and a certain amount of moving away from the US. It was very unfortunate for the US for the German Chancellor to come out and actually say the US is not an ally of Germany anymore. That's quite strong. That's something quite strong coming forward. And you've seen relationships strengthen almost in adversity. People look for those natural partnerships to actually support them. And of course, Germany and France is one. Interesting, very interesting. We had a lot of MPs in the UK campaign against the state visit, and of course Theresa May extended that invitation. She's no longer the Prime Minister. I think it's going to be a rocky ride in UK in June for Trump, but we'll ask that question. Nevertheless, the allies of America are waiting for change. They're hoping for change. They're waiting for change. Well, they're not hoping because we haven't got that card, but they're actually waiting. They know that there's going to be change and they're waiting for it. In the meantime, they're supporting each other. The atmosphere around, unfortunately, there's a lot of judgment going on here. When you see democratic systems being overturned, you see obstruction of justice, you see bypassing of Congress. There's a lot of judgment now going on about whether or not America will be strong enough to survive here. At the same time, people are moving to strengthen relationships with other allies. The hopes and the fears that the traditional allies will move away here, and the hope is that they will stick around. And we've got the outcome card, secrets to be revealed. What's clarifying, and that's also a crisis of faith here. The moon is the traditional card we associate with the sign of Cancer, and suggesting that there is a lot about what has occurred in the changing relationships between US and its allies that we don't know about. There's a lot that other countries may have, decisions they may have taken that we wouldn't know about. But it's also showing a crisis of faith. Hence the German Chancellor has said that the US is not an ally of Germany. Quite strong words. The King of Cups here is coming forward. Sorry, the Elemental is the Queen of Cups. We've got both the Queen and the King of Cups coming forward here, suggesting that when there is a crisis of faith, when there is judgment being made, we've actually got new alliances being formed, support is being given to each other, and potentially bypassing Trump. We've got the Ten of Cups here, also clarifying the crisis of faith. This is again coming together, suggesting that where a family of commonality is not existing, that others will form that between themselves. And the card that is hidden from our view, what's on the bottom of the deck, is victory. So all these countries, this is a hard reading to hear, because if Australia had the regime that you currently have, and our allies moved away from us, our traditional allies, that would be a shame. But it is showing that the allies do understand that Trump won't be there forever, and they are waiting for a change to occur. So I feel that yes, they are moving, they are forming new relationships, but at the same time, obviously, America is a superpower, and they are waiting. They are waiting to see what's happening. They are battening down the hatches, basically, while this is occurring in America, and unfortunately, making those judgments. They have to. I mean, they have to make those judgments in the interests of their citizens, and the world, where those world structures are still committed to. They're having to bypass that. So, I wouldn't say that irreparable damage has been done, because the Ace of Pentacles is suggesting new starts. I feel that once the situation in America is more balanced, then those allies will then return to the fold. I feel that what they're doing now is just survival. So let's have a look at the intelligence bar. Trump declassifying, giving Barr the power to declassify intelligence. Dan Coates has come out and said, look, we'll cooperate with the DOJ review of 2016 surveillance and counterintelligence investigations on the Trump campaign. We will pass on appropriate intelligence information. So what Dan Coates is saying is, no, nobody's going to be jeopardised here. Thank God he used the word appropriate, because as I said, the US has these agreements in place, including with Australia, to share intelligence, and I would assume that countries now, the Five Eyes countries, would be actually starting to move to protect some of their intelligence. I also feel that your structures in the US would have a fail-safe kind of switch here that really would protect them if you had a fascist president in place. And we'll ask that. So that will be our third question. Let's have a look. We've got really things morphing out on the world stage now, haven't we? We haven't even got to Trump in the UK in June. Okay, let's go to the sharing of intelligence, where those agreements are in place. The sharing, particularly the Five Eyes, are those that are party to that agreement, are they nervous about this latest move for Barr to declassify intelligence information? Are the countries, the Five Eyes, who are in parties to that agreement, are they nervous about this latest move that William Barr can declassify intelligence? Yes, they are. This is something that is critical, taken very, very seriously. We've got the Four of Wands as the situation at the moment. This again is the relationship, I feel, mutually beneficial relationships here. It's almost like a marriage. I mean, this card is actually showing two people actually walking down the aisle together. It's a partnership, it's an agreement, it's a marriage that actually has worked in the past for everyone's good. It's being challenged, though, by the King of Pentacles, and this is Trump's, the businessman. His relationship, again, with Russia, this whole Russiagate, is what's challenging the binding agreements that the US has in relation to sharing of intelligence. Now, the focus is that is the High Priest Priestess. I'll bring the laptop down. Now, this is suggesting they're not going to share. They're going to hold back, because the High Priestess is somebody which shows you a quarter of the book and keeps 3/4 of the book away from being revealed. So I feel that the foundation of the reading is they're going to hold back. They're going to be a little bit careful what they share now. Now, the Ten of Cups in the past. This is around information that may have been withheld in America that now Trump wants brought forward, because it can also be withholding information from the masses. But I do feel that this is him wanting to actually convince Americans that the Mueller report was a sham. So it's all around this agenda, this Russiagate, to protect Trump, the businessman. But it's showing that the allies are not going to share, because the potential, what's in the sky is the sun, illumination. What would illumination mean? It would mean that we've got the Four of Cups here. It would mean a critical disappointment, if you can put it like that. Disappointment is too light a word. This is saying that the allies are currently disappointed that this has even been suggested, that they're even having to go here. Now, the Page of Cups at the moment, suggesting a small offering. This again is Dan Coates saying, yes, we'll share, but I'm still feeling the bulk of the intelligence will be held back. And the Seven of Chalices of Cups is talking about being unable to make a choice here. This person here doesn't have clear air to make that choice, but it's also illusions and delusions. So I feel that there will be a public show of saying, yes, we'll provide that information that is relevant, that will not jeopardize our sources. All of that they'll make those public statements, but privately behind closed doors, they're not going to be handing over their intelligence. That would jeopardize their sources, their investigations. They're just not going to do it. And the Six of Cups here is going back to the past. It's in the fear position. So they are, and it could also be the hope as well. But I feel that they're fearful about what could be brought forward from the past that may jeopardize their sources. We've got the Eight of Pentacles. This is the work here. This is somebody, this is the work of the intelligence investigators, the work that they put in. It's also suggesting they're on the phone. They're perhaps communicating with one another about this and what is the potential implications of it. And we've got the King of Wands suggesting that being asked to hand over anything that may jeopardise intelligence sources would be challenged in the courts here, or challenged legally. The agreement may not, in terms of the Five Eyes, the agreement would not stand up. It would not cover. It would not cover William Barr digging around, having carte blanche to all intelligence, counterintelligence relating to America that has not been gathered by Americans, that might have been gathered under an agreement. It's suggesting that all of that would be challenged if indeed Barr were to press the matter. The Tower card is coming forward here, suggesting all of this will have an implication on the intelligence sharing. It's suggesting there's going to be some kind of chaos as a result. The Tower card is not a light card. It's not a small matter. It's suggesting that this action of Trump's has real consequences for sharing of intelligence. Other countries may hold things back as a result of it, but we've got the work of those that are providing intelligence, sharing intelligence. We've got that undermined by this latest move of Trump, and it's suggesting that could have real implications here. And what's hidden from our view is the strength I think the strength of the action, I do feel, because we've got the King of Wands here, it will be challenged. Any moves will be challenged, potentially legally, suggesting that the allies, Five Eye allies, may be communicating amongst themselves, and they're going to hold back. They're going to hold back information, because what's at stake is the Tower card here. And the Tower card, of course, as we know, is disruption, can potentially be downfall. So certainly it has implications to that Five Eye agreement. I feel that they're disappointed that this action has been taken. All right, now let's have a look at Trump in the UK. We're at 20 minutes now, and we'll have a look at Trump in the UK. It's a state visit. He'll be at Buckingham Palace. He'll be a guest of the Queen. We've had mass protests against him. I feel it was very short-sighted for this state visit to go ahead under the circumstances that America now finds itself in, where you've got almost a constitutional crisis, and then Trump wings his way across to the UK. That puts the Queen in a very difficult situation. Okay, so and I feel that Prince Charles and Prince Harry are sort of there giving each other moral support. Meghan Markle, of course, is not going to be there. She's on maternity leave. So I feel that it's putting the royal family in a bit of a bind. As I've said, the MPs, there were MPs in the Parliament that campaigned against this visit. There have been mass demonstrations, and of course this is the home of the Trump baby blimp. So let's have a look. Is he going to get off the plane, insult the British people, and his visit will be controversial, shaking up the world order, etc. How's Trump's visit going to go to the UK in June? Trump, UK, June. All right, so we've got the we've got the Knight of Swords coming forward here, suggesting that there's going to be quite a lot of words of truth coming forward. That's the situation at the moment. He goes to the UK with all of what has been going on in America as a backdrop. Challenge. Now, the challenges there are the Magician. So, unfortunately, what has been going on in America, the Mueller report, the congressional investigations, the Republicans, etc., that's all going to follow him to the UK. The focus of the reading, again, is the Page of Swords here. Sorry, not the Page of Swords, the Novice of Swords, which would be the Knight of Swords. So again, this is truth here. Sorry, the Elemental... Let's start again. Okay, the Elemental is the Queen of Swords. This is a new pack that I've just got, so bear with me, please. The Elemental, Queen of Swords, the Knight of Swords, suggesting truth, is going to dog Trump while he's in the UK. And we've now got the Page of Pentacles, which is money news. I'm wondering what's going to happen, what's going to come forward on the eve of his visit to the UK. Some kind of news is going to come forward, and it's going to have an impact on that visit. Dear, oh dear, very unfortunate. And the King of Pentacles, the potential, what's in the sky again, it's something to do with Trump's business here. It's going to come forward when he's in the UK. And then we've got the Six of Swords in the immediate future, suggesting a moving on. It's suggesting also travel. But if you can look at this card, it's quite dire because we've got somebody blowing up the port here and then sailing away. So I feel that Trump's going to be antagonistic when he gets to the UK. He's going to, leave damage behind him. and he's going to be vindictive because there's some kind of truth or news that are going to be coming out. Now, at the moment, we've got the Ace of Swords here. These are new starts. So all of this is the present, but this is the potential of what's going on here with this situation. At the moment in America, you're moving toward a new beginning. And the Six of Pentacles is the environment, is suggesting loans and debts here. Loans and debts in the environment. Okay, so the news that's going to come out has something to do with Trump's finances, the Trump organisation's businesses, and potentially news coming forward here could something to do with the money here, the loans and the debts. And we've got the King of Wands as the fear. I feel it's the court here. The court and his tax returns and other rulings which aren't going to go in his favour. And we've got the Page of Cups here, suggesting some kind of offer that might be made here as the outcome card here with his visit. Clarified by retreat. Okay. And the Three of Swords, loss. Okay. All right. And what's hidden from our view is strength and endurance. What this reading is suggesting is that, is that Trump's visit to UK will be enmeshed in some kind of truth that's going to be emerging around his finances. Potentially could be a ruling by the courts or one of the investigations being successful. There's a revelation coming which will coincide with his visit, according to my cards. It's suggesting he will be quite vindictive. It could be that the revelation has already occurred, but I don't think so. I feel that it is yet to occur because it's in the environment around Trump at the moment. He's going to get to England, and he's going to be quite, it's like get off the plane, insult the British people, and really at the end of the day, I've got the Page of Cups suggesting some kind of offer here. I'm not saying his visit will be cut short, but I feel that they'll be managing Trump as a result of that. He will actually have to step back in some way, and really there's a loss here for him. There's a loss. Unfortunately, I don't think the visit's going to go so well. I feel that there's going to be also some protests, quite significant protests there, because we've got the Strength card. I'm not getting good vibes around this visit to the UK. Let's have a look at the Six of Swords here. Can we have some clarity on it? This particular deck, you've actually got people rowing away from a burning building, and then we've got the Four of Swords and the Three of Swords, both retreat and loss cards. We've got the Queen of Swords, we've got the Page of Swords, so all words, truth emerging. We've got some kind of money news in the past. We've got Trump the businessman, and the environment around his loan, what money he's borrowed, his loans and debts. Can we have some clarity on the Six of Swords here? What does that mean? Trump in the UK, Six of Swords. Okay, so we've got the Knight of Pentacles, again suggesting this is news coming out around his money. We've got both the Page and the Knight. And we've got balancing the books here, and the Tower. So there is some kind of news here that is going to be dogging Trump's UK visit. It's not looking positive. It's not looking like it's going to run smoothly at all. at all. So look, allies, Trump on the world stage. It's never been an easy partnership, Trump and foreign policy. It's been one of his signature moves, I guess, to shake up world institutions. And as a result, people are just in the world are just as tired of Trump as what Americans are. And tired of the emerging news, which shows potentially an unstable government. So, unfortunately, all of this is going to dog Trump on his UK visit. Allies are going to hold back counterintelligence information, and of course, we had the Tower card coming forward twice. So, just as America is on shaky ground with this president, so is the world. So I'll leave it there. Not easy times at all, and I hope that reading was useful for you. Thank you.